The year is 2020. The whole world was shut down because of an epidemic. During this time, I played video games, put on a couple pounds, but I also kept fish tanks. 3 of them. However, what I didn't know at this time was that these glass boxes full of water, fish, and other animals would teach me a lot more about life than I would have expected. It taught me patience, responsibility, and how to enjoy the process instead of obsessing over the end result. When I first started out, I wanted to have the most appealing tank possible. I wanted vibrant colors, I wanted instant results, and I wanted all of this to happen really quickly. But there's one problem with that. No aquarium works that way. The most stunning looking tanks don't happen overnight. They take a lot of time. Here's a couple of examples. The plant in my tank didn't grow overnight. It took 2 nights. It also takes time for fish to start showing their natural behaviors. And speaking of fish, it might start off small, but with some time, they can grow to be quite big. The same thing goes for life. Whether you're working on your physique or something to do with sports, you won't get the results you want overnight. You need to keep growing each day, taking small steps towards the big goal. I've kept 2 separate reef tanks, but both of them failed because I wasn't responsible enough to keep up with the work. But the tank wasn't the problem. I was. For around the first 3 months of the tank, I was taking really good care of it, but it was because there were no problems yet. Once there were problems, I stopped wanting to put in the effort towards it, and that led the tank to wither. After both of my reef tanks failed, I started putting in all my effort towards my freshwater tank. At the time, it was 10 gallons, but I soon upgraded. This times when problems showed up, such as algae, I didn't stop showing up. I took care of the problems, and it went smooth, and then more problems showed up, and I still kept up with the work. Taking care of my current tank has showed me that responsibility isn't about doing something once or fixing these problems. It's about showing up consistently. Whether it's about being responsible at school or life in general, if you make an effort to consistently show up, that's what's going to make the biggest difference. However, the biggest and, in my opinion, the most important lesson that I learned was this one. At first, I was always focused on the destination. It was get a tank, have the perfect aquarium, and reaching some sort of final goal. I was always focused on what else can I do to get towards that goal. The truth is, though, some things are out of control. That's when I realized the best part wasn't arriving there. It was watching everything slowly come together. I suddenly wasn't so focused on how can I get this tank to look perfect. I started seeing the little things and enjoying it. This blackwater tank is a great example of this. I didn't mean to create a blackwater tank, but as I worked on fixing the color, I started appreciating it for what it was. I started appreciating this accidental ecosystem. As I learned to enjoy the process, everything became more enjoyable and rewarding about this tank. This lesson was the biggest game changer in my life. Instead of constantly chasing something else, some perfect goal in the end, I learned to enjoy the ride and everything in between it. Since I wasn't in a rush anymore, I can enjoy all the little things. An aquarium is basically like its own tiny ecosystem. You can't control it, but you can choose the course it goes in. You can guide it. The same is true for my life, and I'm assuming yours. You can't force results. You can only show up consistently and let time do the rest.